everyone. Can anyone hear me? So if you can, you can locate chat right away. Okay, good. Okay. Let's get started here. So this is mostly a webinar on showing what virtual reality, how you can get into virtual reality, especially developing for virtual reality. This won't be a follow-along webinar that I've done in the past. This is more informational because a lot of stuff that I have here you might not have at all at home, but I'll be definitely giving you guys information on how to get access to the equipment. So first, my name is Ruth. I am a community learning specialist of DoSpace, and my hobbies involve parrots and video games. If you guys have any want to ever talk about video games and such, I'm always game for that. So first things first, a lot of requirements for getting started on virtual reality and such is you can go with a game engine and such like Unreal 4, but you don't have to use Unreal to get into developing virtual reality. You can also use another program called Unity. And I know Amazon's starting to create their own thing. It also doesn't have to be video games related. It could be film related. That would involve getting a 360 camera and such, and have the knowledge to edit footage for 360 degrees. A lot of people are still struggling with that, but you can go for a film perspective or just interactive media. If you want to do more interactive media than necessary is a video game, you can still make that stuff in Unreal and in Unity. Now, Unreal 4 actually is about to go out. They just announced, Epic Games just announced Unreal 5, so we're excited for that to come out. You should be able to do virtual reality development with Unreal 5 too. Next part you really need for developing for virtual reality is a really good computer. I'm gonna go ahead and let me switch to new share screen one. Here we go. So you really need a good computer with some graphics cards and such. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should just look up gaming computers and look at those, even though you might not be making something for video games virtual reality, but gaming computers just have all the parts already for high task things like 3D development and such. So recommended hardware that Unity, Unreal suggests for using their engine. Unity has like less restraining requirements because it doesn't have high detailed graphics as Unreal can handle. But for operating system, they usually, unfortunately, is always Windows 10 and above whenever the next Windows thing comes out. Windows just is the preferred platform for developing stuff like this. Next thing is that you want a really good processor. Right here it says quad-core 2.5 gigahertz or more. That is just a regular requirement. Virtual reality, you need like 3.8 and above. Right there, like I don't understand. 2.5 is probably the minimum that they're requiring here, but no, you need a lot of processing power just for getting virtual reality up and going. Next thing here is there's memory. That is just, RAM and such. 8 gigabytes should do well for RAM. I would say try to go for 16. You need like as much power as you can for virtual reality. You don't have to have 16, but you really should. Now, video card right here, it just says DirectX and Direct12 compatible graphics card. That's just a driver for the video card to get it going, but for virtual reality, you need a card that is as strong as a NVIDIA GTX. I believe they're on the 2000s now, but you can get away with 1070 or above. If you're curious learn more about graphics card, you can actually just look up like graphic card tiers. Let me get that open for you guys. There's like this whole hierarchy of like top graphics cards. Of course, I have to disable ad blocker here. Let me do that. Refresh page. If you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them as we're going on. Again, this is more informational rather than do as long, but I will show you guys a few things in virtual reality of developing for it if you guys are curious to see what it's like. And maybe, follow along later if you do get the stuff. Yeah, this is like the highest tier right here. TomsHardware.com is a really good website for looking at graphic card hierarchies. I'll just go ahead and link that. There you go. So down here, let's scroll even more. It's just like listen to top ones first, but they keep going down. They give you like hierarchy charts between different brands of graphic cards, so you don't have to have NVIDIA. They show AMD too. And this is like a lower, older version. But GTX 1080 is the one that this computer I'm using right now has, and it does pretty well. The processor, in my opinion, could do better, but can still do virtual reality here. And as you can see, with the top tier graphic cards, it gets super expensive, but you don't need a $2,500 graphics card to run virtual reality. But my point is here, it's still expensive to get in virtual reality. Now it's expensive as it was back in the day. It's a little bit more affordable, but it's not something that's easy to access. Here at DoSpace, we do offer a little bit of virtual reality, but like when we were open, it will be like twice a month on Mondays for people to try it out. Hopefully in the future we get a space for it so people can develop for it if they want. It's all up to them. Oh yeah, and here down here it says NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050. It's on the lower end, but it's cheaper too, but it still does pretty well for virtual reality. Next thing you need, well, of course, let's scroll down a little more. It's going over minimum software requirements, Windows 7. This would not go well for virtual reality development. Again, Unreal is used for more than just virtual reality. You can use it for other things as well. The next thing you need is a high-end headset for developing VR. There's standalone ones now, like Oculus Go and such, but it's still good to have a headset to test on. They may have development kits for the standalone ones, but it's good to test your product on one that's easy to connect to and then move on to standalone and test. But right here, I have the HTC Vive Pro. It's one of the high end. It used to be the newest one, but now they've moved on to like much more intense ones. This has like cameras on the outside right here to like detect objects so you don't walk into them and to turn cameras around. The one before this didn't have cameras, so that's really nice. On the inside, you got like these little serrated lenses. They have like little indents for across of it that lets you able to focus on objects more in virtual reality, but it doesn't let as much light into your eye, but it prevents you from getting sick and helps you out there. And then we got like little earbuds here. And the next thing is that the high-end ones that we really look for is one that comes with controllers that act as your hands. There's still development, like other companies are still developing more hand-like gloves you control, maybe like the Power Glove from Nintendo back in the day. But the controllers tend to look like these, and it takes the location of where it is in space, so it feels like you're moving around. And the next thing here you don't see on camera, maybe I can bring it in closer or show you a picture. That's part of the high-end VR sets, is that there's these space stations. Can't see them, they're just kind of like off the side. They are, let me look it up for you guys. They are base stations. They are like a little thing to keep track of your position of the headset. Yeah, that's basically what it looks like right there. It's like a little square on a tripod. You can go closer right there. It comes with like $134, I guess is for the extra one. But these usually come in with the VR packages all together with the extra stuff. And these take your location with the headset, and it takes your location from out here and puts it into the product you are working on or playing. And it feels more like it keeps you tracked where you can walk around and make changes in there. Now, with all the stuff here, what I mean by more in-depth tethered headsets, this one is tethered. And what I mean by that, it has a cord that connects to my computer. Standalone ones I talked before, you can have one of those to develop for, but it's so much easier to develop for one you just connect to and just able to put on quickly. The best VR experiences still cannot be run on phones. There's a lot of like phones that you can put on like cardboard headsets and play some virtual stuff or you like look around, but it still isn't a full experience of these more high-end virtual reality products we have. They they have like so much stuff to them. So the one I just showed you, which is the HTC Vive, I'm gonna go ahead and open that. This right here, it's very compatible with Steam. If you have Steam, you can bring some stuff, insert in there right away. You can see right here, advertising Half-Life here, that they got like this new high-end headset right here, all ready to go and do some cool extra stuff already. I know this one like can do much higher graphics. You get more details. Look at the specs on here. And yeah, it's $900 for this one right here. You get the controllers, you get the headset, you get the base stations and all the other connecting cords. Like I said before, virtual reality is still very expensive, but it can do a lot. This has got a new thing called lighthouse tracking, where it tracks accurate. If it's more precision, the ones that I have right over here. Oops, hold on. Just got my moderator here. There we go. Apparently it's got like 360 sound. Oh, that's just for comfortable, designed for gamers and such. It's not really showing you what's really new, but I know it can handle graphics a lot better. Well, there's the hands right there. And yeah, gigahertz for tracking. There's some problems that cause sickness still with virtual reality, with flickering in the screen. So definitely the higher speed of audio and visual makes it less sickening. Another thing is I highly recommend to go into like Nebraska Furniture Mart or something like that, trying a headset to see if it makes you sick first before buying it, because a lot of people are still sensitive to them. It used to be the case where people were super sensitive, but they got a lot better tracking. Another popular brand for virtual reality headsets, it's the Oculus. There's the Oculus Rift. This is a standalone, I believe, right here. I might be wrong on this one, but they have a lot of standalones. The controllers look similar to the ones I just showed you, where they track movement. Now this Oculus was it's not the first headset, but it's like the first recent history headset that like got people re-interested in virtual reality again. And everyone was like buying Oculuses and stuff like that for people in the world. And you can see this one is way cheaper, $399, $400 for this kind of headset. I don't know why this one's cheaper, but I can definitely try looking into it. I believe, I know these have base stations too, but I believe one of the reasons why it's cheap, and it does not come with base station, that's why. I believe it's because it doesn't have 360 degrees of freedom. I think it's still tracing, but again, I'm wrong. I haven't looked much into this one, but definitely into it. And here's more recommended specs where you gotta have a graphics card, gotta have a good processor, 8 gigabytes RAM or more. Over here, you gotta have, well, the screen, yeah, you gotta have an OS of Windows 10. Fortunately, virtual reality isn't really made much for Macs yet. Okay, now I can finally get to the costs here. High-end virtual reality is still very expensive. Like, I personally still don't want this because I'm still focusing on other adventures. Definitely want to go into getting some virtual reality stuff soon in the future, but you need like high-end model if you want to go that route. You could find cheaper models, but typically they do cost between $300 and $1,200, especially like HTC Vive. Like, my goodness, that was expensive. But again, the experience is like so much, like, it's like, I can't describe it another way than awesome. Like, it leaves you in awe when you try it on, if it doesn't make you sick. And another thing is that people forget when they get into virtual reality is that you need a high-end computer. That's why I was talking about the specs of computers. You need a computer that can run it. You can try a standalone headset, but those will get outdated very fast. Like, those are tougher to update, especially virtual reality is still being developed. With all these new things they're bringing in, a standalone headset might become obsolete within a year versus investing in more expensive headset and it won't become obsolete. Like, I have the Pro here and it still can be used like for newer games and experiences are created versus Oculus Go that we have here. It's already kind of behind. So before we get into this, I'm actually in the seated position right now. You can try virtual reality walking around or seated. I'm sticking seated right now because so you guys can see in camera how all of this runs. And I don't have controllers much, but I'm going to be mostly remained seated here. Again, if you have any questions, you can ask away. So, went too far ahead here. Let me open Unreal again for you guys. So recently Epic Games started a game library, get free games and such, but Unreal, that's just right now proficient. The reason why I'm choosing Unreal is because it actually has, it's still in demo mode, but it has the ability to put on a headset and move things around designer levels with virtual reality. So that's what I show here, but you can still develop for virtual reality without that feature. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring over Epic Games. This is their launcher here. They combined Unreal with the library. It just used to be just for Unreal, and then it decided to try to compete with Steam. And with HTC Vive, we can use Steam to show a few products here, but I'm gonna go ahead and launch the engine. I already installed it. They have a bunch of demos that I could show off here, but I'm gonna go ahead and first, let me check if I can open this one. Yes, because earlier it was getting stuck at 39%. And I'm wondering if Unreal recently did a big update. If it gets stuck at 39%, I'm just gonna switch over to another project. Oh, yep, immediately at 100% on processor. There we go. And I believe it's because something is going on with Steam that's conflicting with it. And that's just something I have to fix later. So in this case, I'm just going to launch virtual, like a regular template instead of the VR one. But I still can show you how to, oh no, something's disconnecting here. Just looking here. There we go. So virtuality, again, I mean Unreal 4, it's much more than just making video games these days. You can create films in here or show cool manufacturing products in artificial reality. Sorry. There's like something going on with the headset right now, so I'm just gonna make sure it's all right. Oh. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go with game here. Just my little VR here. And I'm gonna go with first person. There is a virtual reality template, but earlier when I was trying it out, just got stuck at 39%. I believe there's a conflict of Steam that we fixed, but I'm gonna still show you some virtual reality stuff here. So in Unreal, you can create some projects in here without knowing a lot of code. It has like a bunch of blueprints, is what they call for their coding, like inserted there, you can add things as you go. So I'm just gonna click next. And I'm gonna go with maximum quality. I'm gonna keep ray tracing disabled. And I'm gonna go start a content in here and create project. And I have to wait for a little bit of my project to be made. When I tried a first person template earlier, yeah, I went through. So you guys interested? In the past, for a program we have at DSpace called Make Hack Build, we actually did a virtual reality theme where we developed some things through Unreal. Hopefully we can get to do that again in the future. But here we go. This is Unreal right here. And like I can move around. I highlight like if you want to try virtual development, not virtual, but making games in general, I definitely recommend checking out their videos and such. And this kind of moves around like other 3D environments, like you rotate around with a mouse. I highlight so just using a mouse going through here. Right now I'm just using a first person template, but I have uploaded some starter content into here. So I got some blueprint objects I can throw in. I could just go back to content, starter content, and architecture, and there's some like objects I can throw, like this door frame right here. I know there's some chairs somewhere in here. There's some props. Yay, chair. Just like some basic objects that go in here. Okay. So now developing in virtual reality. So if you go and look at the top of the screen here, under play, if I click on that, there's VR preview. So play this level in VR. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my headset. I won't be able to see the screen as much, but I will look back just to see if you guys have questions occasionally. So I'm gonna go ahead, put this on. Well, actually it kind of helps if I click play first, because right now I can't really see preview. I'm gonna make it where you guys can see the preview, or you'll see it right in here. So I'm just going to VR preview. There we go. And I look up and around. And it might be, it's not showing the two different screens for you guys. I need to turn my controller on real quick. And this is just for VR preview. This isn't developing. This is looking around what it looks like in virtual reality. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off again. And I believe I hit escape. Yep, to get out of it. There we go. So now, see, play this level in VR. I'm not going to do that. For that, it's just previewing what the game is looks. If you look towards the center right here, there's VR mode. So there's a little difference here that I'm pointing out. There's Toggle's VR virtual reality mode for developing in Unreal. And over here, play is just VR preview of this level. And you can see I just had the little gun right there. So I'm going to go ahead and go to VR mode. And VR mode requires the legacy editor mode UI be enabled. Without this mode, the mesh paints and such will not function. So I'm going to enable and restart. And I'm going to go ahead and save before starting it. Now it's going to close and then reopen. It's loading. There we go. Past 39% that time. Here we are. And now I'm going to go back into, again, I'm pointing at this VR mode at top. Click right there. And it wants me to use motion controllers. Yep, I have that. It's telling me it's still, in development. It's very much under beta. Continue. Here we go. And now as I rotate my controller around, my headset around, the screen rotates. Now, hopefully this doesn't move around too much for you guys as I am on the headset. Okay, so I got my controllers here. Here's my character right here. This is a template for a computer, a mouse, and a keyboard, like a typical shooter type game, but I could still develop in it. So my controllers is where most of my stuff is. This little, oh, there's my menu. On this controller on the right that I'm holding right there, I wish I could point at it. It has like a circle button in the middle. And let me back up a little bit, look at the screen here. Let me know if you guys can't see the screen. Hopefully it is sharing properly. Just want to make sure I have that stat updated there, okay? Again, look back at chat, just making sure. Okay, I haven't seen. I can't really see chat very well. There we go. So back to this right controller here, the red on it. You can't see my hands right now, but it has that big giant circle button right there, just right in the middle. If I hold that down, oh, nope, not in this one. No, it changed it. Okay, take me there. Oh. Yeah, they changed it. No, that's it. Okay, sorry, I was completely wrong there. It's been a little bit since I've done this. Okay, so there's some buttons on the sides right here. There's a thing where I can grab. If I want to move around, I just hold that button and like drag myself through. There used to be a way to teleport. Maybe. Oh, back to that. Let's press this. No. There we go. Nope, I guess they make it where the circle pad now only grabs different things. Okay, so to this controller here, Buttons we got on the back side are our triggers. There's like these little squeeze buttons right here. And then here is the menu. If I press on the circle pad in the middle, you can see like an arrow rotating around. That's me moving my thumb around the circle pad. These are actually touch pads that are sensitive based on the direction you point at with your finger, like you're scrolling through a phone screen. So here you can bring some models up. So I'm gonna go to Windows, Edit. I'm gonna go to Edit, and then I'm gonna copy some objects. So I'm gonna grab this object, copy. There we go, I made some copies there. And I'm grabbing these objects with this controller right here, the red one, and I'm pressing the back button right here. You see it highlighting, so I'm grabbing it, and it makes these arrows appear. I can try free grabbing it too, just moving around as I want, and I can start building my level based off that. And I can grab another cube, just kind of freeform that, try to build it on top. I can also grab the arrows for different directions, pull on different levels. Yep, there's. There, I can move it up and down. Move it based on a plane too. I only want to move it through that direction, up and down here. In green, let me move it over here so we can show the green. Green this way. There we go. I'm gonna check for questions real quick. There we go. There's none right there. Okay. Now, another thing we do is that we can point an object. See this one? And then I can also point these controllers at each other to like choose options. And there we go, I just deleted that one. I'm gonna choose this one right here. Again, I'm just pointing, pressing the trigger button on the back side. And then I press my circle pad down here to change different things. I just cut that and I'm just gonna paste it back where it was. Now for me to go back, I can just point at the middle right here if I wanted to, or I can just press this button. Let's be back here. Oops. There we go. So I press that top button right there to get back in the middle here. There we go. And then I'm gonna go over to gizmos. So gizmos is basically how you manipulate your objects based on rotation, translate for movement, and scale. So if I go right here, I'm gonna do scale here. And I can make this object really huge. So in a lot of 3D modeling programs, you can manipulate these objects based on rotate, scale, and translate movement. So based on here, this little cube right there, I grab the top one right here, move it up, and it lets me scale up. I can make it super tall if I wanted, or super short. I'm gonna go with squeeze on the bottom so I can just get myself over there. Yep. If you squeeze both, you can rotate around. There we go. Just bringing myself over there. There's other games that have teleport options. I'm pretty sure this does too. Just trying to remember this. Now I'm a lot closer again. I'm gonna grab this one again and I'm gonna make it taller. Looks like I'm making it taller based on a plane. And if I grab the side right here, I can make it longer. There we go. And luckily you can see the UI for the center. I can bring it up, down, show me the bottom plane just in case. Such. Okay, now I'm going to show rotate. And I just go to my menu, rotate it, and come on. I'm going to grab that one, rotate. Here we go. Oh, there's the rotation. So we can rotate in the X, Y, and Z. So I can rotate this sideways by length and width. I can get it right. Also, I can tilt my head below even more than one if I want to change perspective on it, but I'm not going to do that. Chord over here, rotate around this. There we go. You can go back to your versatile if you want. And earlier we still translate already with moving objects around. Okay, now to show, I'm going back to, oops, I hit the wrong button again. Now going back to adding 5 like models and stuff. So if I go to Windows, I'm gonna go to Content Browser. There's a little bit of Unreal thing right here. And I got some objects here. So I can add some lights, some spheres. I'm just pointing at the like scroll bar with my pointer cursor and holding the button on the back side to go down. And got some, I can also use the touchpad and do like a, bring my thumb to the bottom to the up of it, like in other materials. So I got some materials here. I'm gonna just grab that, assign that to this, come on. Ooh. Oh, I did something. This, like I said before, this is still in beta. Somehow I accidentally opened Blueprints. I'm just gonna go ahead over to starter content. And looks like it's everything under starter content. I'm just gonna open that folder a little bit more. I'm gonna go to, let's go to props. And I'm gonna grab this rock, bring it in, and there we go. So I drag it in. Now I got like this giant rock right here. I'm just gonna move this, come on. Just a little more the way from me. Because it just kind of spawned on top of me. But yeah, I can really drag more objects in that way. And hopefully if I go over to materials, which typically is the material that goes in, usually, there we go, got it. Finally got it to drag on. So I'm grabbing the trigger button on the backside and dragging on, creating my space. It's kind of a little ugly. I'll grab this instead. Nope, didn't work out. Oh, there we go, better grass material. I could probably find better materials online, but there you go, that's like more of a brick. There we go. Now in Unreal, it's not a 3D creation program, it is more of a set designer. I'm gonna add some cool particle effects in here. So this could be overall a really fun way to like design levels through virtual reality if you wished. If you want to use it for that, you can also maybe use it for, there's this marks, use it more towards for, that's actually making me a little dizzy. But you can use it like just create those virtual reality experiences if you wanted to. I'm just gonna back up here. Just get me away from that, there we go. And such. Now, if you're curious a little bit on a more cool finished product, we're gonna go ahead and switch to a cooler finished product rather than just something through Unreal. Now, of course, I have to like remember how to exit out of this. Close. Don't save. Here we go. So if you're curious on something a little bit more finished here, let me find. Unreal itself also has like a little place where you can learn. It'll teach you many different things that are pretty cool and awesome. Here, of course, it takes a lot of work and dedication, but they have some cool projects. So anyone you guys see right here that might be interested in? Pulling his kite, Virtual Studio. There used to be a place where they had like demos you could download. They go under library, scroll down, here's the vault. But that's just including stuff into projects. Here is create project for Showdown. I'll go back over to learn. Scroll down a little bit more. Let me know if you guys see any cool stuff. You got like a chaos destruction demo right here. This one right here is more towards architecture. Let's try as a digital human. I'm gonna try one that like lets me mess with some stuff that they have in there already. I'm gonna go with the Sun Temple down here. Oh, I got some games down here even further. I'm gonna go with the Sun Temple. So I'm gonna click on this and just go ahead and download it. It's free. Create project. Wow, so I have to choose a different place. Data, Epic Games, so create. And of course, I gotta wait a little bit to install. But if you're ever lost in about Unreal, they have a lot of documentation. I can type right. And they have a lot of documentation you can follow. Let me go right in here, especially for virtual reality. For developing virtual reality, there is a lot of like standards they have in the industry before you release. There's like guides. When you buy like an HTC Vive Oculus, it comes with a guide on developing. And a lot of it's like standards on like making sure it doesn't make people motion sick, making sure you have loading icons for loading screens so it doesn't feel like it's frozen. A certain frame rate you have to pass, making sure your eye stays at the right level, things like that. How's it getting started to VR guide for level design stuff? Like you don't have to be a programmer to get in this, or maybe you want to just do programming in here. You can. You see, I might have to search Unreal VR to find that documentation. Nope, that is not what I'm looking for. There it is, virtual reality development. On here. So you got developing for Unreal Virtual Reality and for various different product platforms. Each platform has different guidelines to go with. Of course, theirs is the HTC Vive. And they got quick start. Here we go, Steam VR best practices. Let's see, making sure there's sanity check, make sure it connects to VR. That is not the one I'm looking for. Steam, I believe it's one of these two. I don't know why these are in here twice. Oh, the requirements of the machine. But they need to go back and update this. Okay. So I'm just going to go back and just go up to developing for VR Engine. So VR performance and profiling. Best practices. There we go. Frame rate optimization is one of the most important things about developing VR because you don't want to drop frames. If you drop frames, start going to like 15 frames per second, your user is going to get sick and feel out of place as they try to move in real life, and yet they're not getting the feedback. So when you're like starting the engine, like engine automatically tries to fix the frame rate right away, and you have to set it to not do that. But when you're building projects for it, you need to make sure you stay at 60 frames per above. I believe the standard changed to 120 or 90. Target frame rate, there you go. Target frame rate for the different products. The Vive has to be at 90 frames or above. If your thing's slowing down, you either need to figure out how to optimize it or get it to, maybe you have to remove some things to get it to move faster or be better. Because yeah, you have to be very careful about your product that you made because you can get people sick, and you don't want to get people sick and hate your product and tell a bunch of bad stories about it. Okay, here we go. So now the final thing I'm going to do here, directory must be empty. Let me create a new folder here. Here we go. Great. I'll create my project and open it and show you a more fully detailed level. Here we go. Looks like I already created it. I'm gonna go over here, library. There's Sun Temple. Double click on it, open it. It shows you like a list of projects in here. But again, this webinar is more meant to be informational, make you understand the basics of virtuality, what it takes to make it. This won't be fully detailed on everything because people won't be able to follow along unless they have the materials. So right now, a lot of times Unreal has to compile the shaders for a little bit. So right now there's no lighting. Shaders is the look of the material in 3D space, the lighting. So something might have a glossy feel to it, or something might have a rough feel, or grass is kind of like fluffy and spiky, and various things like that. So my starting spot is over there. And looks like it's still developing some lighting in here. Got 676 left to go. So it's gonna take a little bit. Right here, you can see that there isn't textures on things yet. You can see like there's just gray models right here because it's still rendering it out, all that stuff. Once again, there's not even Skysphere yet. A little bit of it, but it's missing a little bit on the side. But that's one of the main reasons we're like, we need good graphics card for development, not just for virtual reality, but for a lot of things that take a lot of 3D stuff. And there we go. Now we got the trees. Okay. I'm just giving it a little bit more time. This will be the last thing I show you guys. Yeah, we're almost done with piloting shaders. I'm just kind of moving around so far. It's got license. Like, there's a reason why Square Enix with Final Fantasy switched over to Unreal. It's because it can render 3D art really well with different styles too. And it doesn't really lag behind on it. Like your computer may lag behind, but not the engine so much. There we go. So again, I'm gonna go at the top right here. I'll go build. With virtual reality development and Unreal, it's more focused on the level design and building things rather than programming. It's kind of hard to like type in virtual reality, but I feel like it is a really good experience to have if you're going to make virtual reality. Of course, I gotta restart it. Yeah. But if you're making something for virtual reality, it's going to be, I feel like it's a lot more effective to build a level in virtual reality and be able to walk through it, understand how it feels. You don't always have to go away. A lot of times it's a lot easier to develop for virtual reality without putting a headset to make the level. Here we go. I'm gonna go to VR mode. Here we go. I'm gonna put on my headset here. Yeah, now in this world. Looks like the overlay is a little off right now. So let me exit out of that. Nope. And this is in beta, so there's a lot of stuff. It's still kind of wonky. Looks like I selected myself by accident. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this again and reopen it. Oh, virtual reality got in the way. Well, Steam VR got in the way. It's not using Unreal. Now I'm gonna open this again. Yeah. So this computer I'm using right now actually hasn't been touched for a while, so there's still some things that need to be fixed. I wish I really could show you guys how to open an Unreal template. The Unreal template in here comes with like blueprint that lets you attach an objects if you want to make it grabbable. So you like put in a headset, just instantly grab and throw across the room. It's a lot of fun. Here we go. Now, let's go ahead and do VR mode. There we go. So, like before, I can like kind of scroll through this place. There's a way to change the rated scrolls. And I can like rotate around if I wanted without literally turning around, but I could like physically look around too. But this is much more atmospheric than the other one. Well, let's go ahead and add some models. Going to Windows here. Gonna go to Content Browser. And then I'm gonna go over to Assets. And then, so you got Materials, Blueprints, Messages. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm gonna scroll through. And I guess I'll add more of these statues in here. So there's another statue right here. Bring it up, down. I have to like go through this menu right here to go back. Oh yeah, there's also snapping if you want to snap it to grid. It's the one you see right here. I want to line things up perfectly. And you can edit here too. It doesn't have, I'm trying to remember what it's called, not landscaping, but terraforming? No, not that. You can close out of that. And go back. Gizmos. And grab that. Rotate this object if I wanted to. I can also grab this thing. Whoop. Rotate the whole building around. Maybe I want to make this place more of a free-floating place. Go here, translate. Maybe I want to bring some things up the ceiling. Rotate on the green axis. Of course, it's kind of hard to see right now because of the grid below it. Translate. Bring it up there. Select something else. Oh, it's still kind of floating. There we go. Now I'll put an angel on the roof here. I can also just grab like this little beam right here and bring it closer. And maybe I want to scale it. Make it a lot larger. There we go. Now it's a giant pillar up there. There we go. Hey, I finally remembered how to teleport. Okay, so I squeeze these side buttons right here. You see a highlight? And then I push the backside trigger to teleport. Now I'm over here. It's a little jarring though. You're like, whoa, I'm suddenly over here. But this is really nice. You bring myself back that way. But yeah, it's one of those definitely experiences you want to try out. Again, when we open to full services, definitely try out our Virtual Reality Mondays. And hopefully in the future, they take my suggestion where you guys can check out the virtual reality headset and start making your own things. There we go. So that is all the information I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, you can email us at dspace.org. Also, you can share really cool stuff that you've made. Check out our Facebook. Show some stuff us, send us a message, you know, we'll love it, show it off or whatever. We love to hear what everyone has been working on. And again, like I said before, you can go to dspace.org, the website itself, there's like a little chat box, or you can email us at hello@dspace.org if we've got questions on, hey, do you know places where I can get cheap headsets? Not so much right now, except for used. Or Maybe you can ask us a question along the lines of, hey, when's the next time you're going to do a virtual reality class at DoSpace? And yeah, we'll say right now, not so much, but down the future, I'll definitely let you know. You can get like a little newsletter on it. And on DoSpace.org, if you go to our website, there's like a little chat box in the bottom right. You can ask questions right there. Otherwise, have a good evening, and I hope you guys get to try out virtual reality sometime in the future when it's more available, or try to DoSpace when we're open again. Thank you very much, and have a good night.